talking, come on, keep on talking, come on.
It's historic. It's monumental. I would say nothing has occurred like this in Loudoun County, maybe in the state of Virginia since Brown versus Board of Education.
Robin Reeves-Burks is chair of education for NAACP Loudoun branch. She says the investigation into the Academies of Loudoun, a specialized STEM program for advanced students within Loudoun County Public Schools, started over 2 years ago when her son was denied admission.
My son, straight A student since elementary school, applied to the academies and was denied instantly, like he didn't even make it to the final round. So I knew something had to be wrong.
In March of 2019, she worked with NAACP to file a formal complaint with the Attorney General's office, citing a lack of Black, Brown, and Latinx students in the academies of Loudoun, use of racial slurs across the district, bullying and discriminatory hiring and promotion practices of LCPS staff, among other offenses. And today, after a 13-month investigation into those claims, Pastor Michelle Thomas, president of the NAACP of Loudoun County, announced the findings.
That there is reasonable cause to believe that Loudoun County Public Schools administration of the Academies of Loudoun program resulted in a discriminatory, desperate impact on Black, African Americans, and Latinx Hispanic students.
The investigation found that Asian American students were overrepresented in the program, while Black, African American, and Latinx students were underrepresented. And now LCPS has 60 days to submit revised admissions, hiring, and retention practices to the Attorney General for review. And for the next 2 years, they will be monitored to ensure compliance. LCPS issued a statement indicating that they will be reviewing the demands of the AG's office while continuing to implement its action plan to combat racism and other affirmative initiatives already underway across the division.
The arc of the moral universe is long, but the arms bend towards justice. And today there is a bend in LCPS, systemic racism, towards justice. Ain't gonna let nobody